What is going on, everyone? Happy Saturday. Welcome to the 10 at 10:05 today. We are running slightly behind because last night we had an epic marathon on Clubhouse where I built people's stories from scratch on hot seats. I was on there till I want to say 1:30. I might be wrong on that because I completely lost track of time, but I wanted to go over it because there were so many questions that I thought people already had answers. So 10 and 10 today is going to be a little bit different. We are going to give you motivation. We are going to get you pumped up. We are going to get you feeling amazing about your day. And I'm going to show you that every single person out there has a story that they can use in their business, regardless of what your business is. If you sell something, which we all sell something, you can use stories to sell what you sell. To sell what you sell? Does that make sense? I'm still drinking coffee. All right. So let's jump into it. How do you use a story to sell, right? My story for this came when I started out speaking on stage. I got up and I would just literally word vomit on everybody. I would give a huge bullet point slide, right? Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, really dense paragraphs. And I thought I was giving as much value as possible. Sure, people took notes, but it also 90% of it went right over their head. Have you ever been talking to somebody and you can tell like their eyes just kind of glaze over and they start looking off to the side and they stop paying attention to what you were sharing with them? It's because you're talking over their head. We have a tendency to do that because we're the experts, right? We've spent a lot of time, energy, and money learning what we do. I saw this happen with restaurant people a lot. You know, my chef would start talking about food and I loved it. I would be fine. But if I sent him out to a table and he started talking to the table, he would start talking about prep stuff and he would start talking about all the food language, and the table just would lose interest because that's not what interests them, right? You're talking about the tech aspects, the technical aspects of what you do, instead of talking about how they affect people, how they change people's lives. So how do you use your story to draw people in, expose them to just the right amount of technical knowledge, and get them to move forward with you? Whether that is buying your product, whether that is spending more time with you, how do you use this? Like, somebody asked me last night if this could be used in a dating profile. Katie and I have been talking about this on the Bad Marketing Show. It absolutely can. What are you selling when you're on your dating profile? You're selling yourself. You're selling that you're a cool person to hang out with and that people should want to hang out with you. They should want to get to know you a little bit more. I mean, pictures help, but that's not what sells the end story. You have to have something to go with it. So how do you tell this story? I'm going to walk you through it really quick. I did this. I think we did. I want to say I did 22 or 23 people last night and just broke down their story, put it back together, gave them a framework, rehearsed it with them once, and sent it on their way. So that they had something to use in their business. So I'm going to attempt to do that through the camera. I don't know exactly how this is going to work, but we'll figure it out. So the first part of the story that you want to have is you want to have a sexy hook. So where was the pain point for you that started to change everything? Where was a low point? You always start with pain because pain is what sells, except in dating relationships. Dating relationships, you don't want to start with pain. You want to start with something really cool. For dating profile, man, I need more coffee. That's what a late night will do, right? So you start with the hook down here. That's the first thing that brings them in. If we're using weight loss, for some reason I love to use weight loss examples, so we're going to go with weight loss. It would be something like, man, I got up, my alarm had gone off for the 15th time. I'd hit snooze 10 times and I just couldn't get out of bed. I didn't have any energy. When I finally did, it was really depressing because nothing in my closet fit anymore. And I knew I had hit a low point. I went out to get breakfast and I just sat there staring at my cereal and pancakes. And I just knew something had to change. Like, it's a sexy hook that draws you in. Think of a soap opera, right? Draw people in. The next piece you want to go into is about 45 to 50% of the story. And you just want to get people familiar with what you've gone through. So this is like a broad overview. You can talk about different things in your life. The languaging that you use, though, is not specific moments. Instead, it's a broader overview. So it'd be like, in my life overall, from the time I graduated college, I just started putting on weight. I just, I got busy at work. I wasn't exercising as much. My lifestyle changed. My friends changed. We used to go for runs after college, after classes, but we didn't do that anymore. I used to go work out at the gym, but then, I moved farther away from the gym. It was harder and harder for me to be active, and the pounds just started adding up. Before I know it, 5 years had gone by and I had put on 65 pounds. I didn't even recognize the person in the mirror anymore. The next thing that you want to add in, you want to start to take that story and draw people in. So like, have you ever been there? Has your life changed a little bit over the last 5 years? Have you like maybe put on a couple extra pounds because you just can't get to the gym anymore? That's exactly how it was for me. Not only that, I stopped cooking my meals because I wasn't on the college starvation diet of ramen and hot dogs anymore. Instead, I had money to go out to eat. So I was eating out 4 or 5 nights a week. Do you do that? See how I'm just pulling you into the story? So the first 50% is that sexy hook, and then a bunch of background to bring you to what we call the light bulb moment. The light bulb moment is that moment where everything changed and it goes back to the sexy hook. You're now closing that loop of the sexy hook. So the hook, you just go back and you tell that morning I had had enough. I threw the pancakes away. I dumped the cereal out. And I decided this was the moment that things were going to change for me. And I remember like going in and finding a pair of gym shorts that barely fit. And I was like, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to go for a run. I don't care how far I go. I don't care how fast I am. I'm going to go out and I'm going to exercise. I'm going to make a change. That's the moment. The next little slice is called the journey. And the journey, this is where a lot of people oversell when they are using stories. For the journey itself, you want it just to be a little sliver. Think about if I were taking you on a vacation to Hawaii, right? If we were going to Hawaii and I was trying to get you excited about going there, I would talk about, we're going to fly there. It's going to be on Southwest. It's not going to be too bad. We'll pay for the upgraded seats. We'll fly there and then we'll be having margaritas on the beach. We're staying at an amazing hotel. There is great food there, right? I just talk a little bit about the travel. You want to do the same thing with your journey. So the way this would play out in our weight loss story, from that day, I came back in, I Googled, I got some really cool recipes that I knew I could stick to, and I just started working out every day. Now we're 6 months later, and I've lost 24 pounds without being on a starvation diet. I found food that I could really eat and enjoy. I've started looking a lot better. I started fitting in clothes that I almost threw out because they didn't fit anymore, but luckily they were in the closet. I also got to go buy some new clothes, and let me tell you how cool that feels. Now you're painting the picture for them. Again, this is where you future pace them. Your results are the results that the person you're selling wants. So when you're telling the exciting tomorrow, you want to go through all the things that they would want. Buying new clothes, looking great in the mirror, feeling great about themselves. And then you again want to draw them in. Can you imagine what that would feel like for yourself if you could take off those 10 or 15 pounds that you put on since college? I can show you how to do that. I would love to share my journey, my story with you. Feel free to book a call down below. Feel free to reach out to me, whatever it is. If you're telling us at a live event, it works really well because you can just say, hey, if you want to get some coffee later, I'm happy to. And then you can go sit down, have coffee with the person and explain how you could work together. But they already know, like, and trust you because they've seen your journey in a way that is specific to them and you've included them in it. If you want to know more about story selling, I have broken down more than 200 stage presentations, and we build anywhere between 15 to 50 stories into the stage presentation. That's how I got so good at this. There is a link on the screen, storiesthatscale.com. We'll give you my free ebook, a couple videos to go with it that will kind of walk you through this a little bit more. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can send me a DM. You can leave a comment down below this. If you're on YouTube, there will be a link to Stories at Scale in the description. You guys are awesome. I'm glad you are here for the 10 at 10:05 on this Saturday, and I will see you tomorrow. Till then, take action, change lives, and make money. We'll see you soon.